Tucked away in the old buildings along South Elm Street are some truly innovative and unique living spaces. Many of the area's buildings date back to the late 19th and early 20th century, and spaces demonstrate an evolution of building materials, window types, and ceiling heights as old brick buildings were modified and expanded over time. The result is a rich narrative of place that is refreshingly modern and charmingly historic at the same time. This residential space has been included on our tour as Greensboro's Eclectic Over-Store Studio. This living space sits above traditional shop fronts along South Elm Street, but it's really much more than a studio. We use the term studio as a reference to the wide open and multi-use room that includes a big living area, kitchen and dining areas, and gallery space with high ceilings and huge windows flooded with natural light. The owners of this big city home kept the wall colors light and neutral, but used a color palette of jewel tones that might be inspired by their collection of geodes, stones, and minerals. A rich collection of art brightens the walls and provides an eclectic diversity of artistic themes. This open plan provides enough space for a piano and a big kitchen island. Separate from the open studio space is a comfortable master bedroom with an adjoining bathroom. A second enclosed room can be used as a guest bedroom. This warehouse space was largely vacant when the project began, and every mechanical system, including plumbing and electrical, had to be reworked. These former storage spaces had never been air-conditioned, and they required some serious dehumidification. The interior brick walls also presented a challenge. Historically, the walls would have been covered by a layer of plaster. Though the brick walls were never designed to be exposed to the elements, the owners worked hard to maintain their industrial look. There are also special challenges in adaptively reusing these old spaces. Fire separation must be taken into account, since this is a mixed-use building that has shops on the ground floor and residential spaces above. Typically, when an historic mixed-use building is brought into new building code, city inspectors will require separation using drywall between the subdivided spaces. Energy efficiency was also a challenge. Thick masonry walls of the late 19th and early 20th century have inherent thermal characteristics that keep the building cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. The occupants also installed a partial drop ceiling and added blown insulation into the newly created attic. Some of the most challenging issues were related to the exposed wooden beams. As a key design element, the owners wanted to preserve their strong visual presence. They also decided to expose the air vents to enhance the industrial character of the building. Just outside of this residential unit is a fenced urban garden. These private spaces are rare in downtown Greensboro, but not unheard of, as work areas and paved parking are reclaimed with turf and planting beds. The owners have created some conversation areas and have added plants and flowers that provide interest alongside some rusted relics that serve as focal points. What is the best part of being downtown? The occupants love being so close to all the historic buildings on South Elm Street. While the proximity to entertainment and food is worth noting, they feel lucky to live on a street that still has so many historic storefronts intact. They don't build buildings like they used to. The walls of this building are 13 inches of solid brick. What about advice for anyone who might be thinking of taking on a similar project? The owners enthusiastically encourage you to take the plunge. As long as you do your homework on the front end, you won't regret it. Also, make sure you triple check your budget and then add 20%. Although historic tax credits were not taken for this project, other adaptive reuse projects on the tour and in the South Side and South Elm Street neighborhoods have leveraged the program. Income tax incentives for rehabilitation of historic structures are an important tool for these kinds of projects in downtown Greensboro. For buildings listed on the National Register of Historic Places, a federal income tax credit consisting of a 20% credit of the rehabilitation costs of income-producing properties is allowed. A 15 to 25% state income tax credits for certified rehabilitations is also available for projects such as this. For non-income residences, homeowners may receive 15% state tax credit for qualified rehabilitation of owner-occupied residential properties. For more information about these credits, search the internet for North Carolina Historic Tax Credits. Greensboro is fortunate to have great examples of adaptively reused buildings, such as this, as an amazing place in our downtown. Perhaps this project will inspire others to continue to restore our treasured places.